Gentlemen, do not stay where you're not appreciated. This applies to romantic interactions. You notice that this woman isn't really feeling you like that. She's breadcrumbing you. She's replying to you 2 to 3 days late. Oh, hey, sorry, I've been busy. But you've been seeing her post on her stories. This applies to friends that you try and hang around with. You try to organize stuff with, but they're just never available for you. This applies to the workplace. You're working for a company that you know isn't appreciating you. They never recognize your achievements. They always dismiss your requests to renegotiate your salary, perhaps. Oh yeah, we'll do it soon, and they never do. You notice they give you more work all the time. They overwork you and underpay you. They tell you to take on other people's work, because sometimes employers will do that. They'll see that you're so good at getting things done, they'll give you other people's stuff to do as well, but your salary remains the same. So whatever the situation is, if you notice that you're not being appreciated, detach. Detach. I'm so good now at just removing myself from a situation that I feel isn't good for me. I detach quickly. If I feel like, you know what, no, there's nothing here really. There's no reciprocation. There's no desire to see me, whatever it may be. I detach. I do not stay where I am not appreciated. I don't want to beg. I don't want to plead with anybody. I don't want to convince anybody. There's a saying, a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. So if you're trying to convince a woman to see you, convince her to see something in you, to like you, she won't. And if anything, that will repel her because you're trying too much. Women don't like it when a guy tries very hard to impress them. It gives them what we call ick nowadays. I hate that word. The word ick gives me an ick. I don't like it. There's something about it, right? But when you try too hard to please a woman, to win her over, you just look like a clown. You look like a clown juggling balls to try and impress her. Look at me, I'm so entertaining and amazing, and I'm a catch. If you're a catch, she will come into your frame. She will want to be with you. She will want to spend time with you. She will make herself available whenever you ask her out. You won't have to go out of your way to try and get her to see you and spend time with you and to like you. Nah. And it's sad to see a lot of guys do that nowadays. It's like, bro, she ain't feeling you like that. You'll know when a woman really likes you. You'll know. You won't be left confused. Okay, remember also, no response is a response. If she's not replying to you, but she's liking your stories, don't get carried away thinking, oh yeah, but she still likes me. No, because your message is still undelivered. She still hasn't opened your message. So you're just a guy that, she'll watch your stories here and there. She'll like your stuff. But she isn't interested enough to conversate with you. And in a situation like that, you just need to walk away. Stop giving her attention. Stop. She knows, the thing is, she knows you're going to reply to her stories. You're going to like her stories. You're going to try and message her again 2 days later after being left undelivered. She knows you're there. You're Mr. Backup. You're there. Oh yeah, he'll message. What you need to do is just disappear from her life altogether. Remove her as a follower. I don't believe in blocking because it just, I think it's quite an emotional response when you block somebody, right? But remove her as a follower and never speak to her again. Never speak to her again. Stop orbiting, because women have a lot of orbiters, guys that are just hanging around on the bench. Maybe they know she's in a relationship. They're just waiting for the day that she announces that she's, well, maybe not announces that she's single, but, the moment women start posting quotes of healing and stuff, they've probably gone through a breakup, right? And there's a lot of guys like, yes, now's my chance. No, you'll never be desired in that way. You're just Mr. Let me fill in the time with somebody else, so I can overcome this breakup. You'll become the bounce back guy. You don't want to be that guy, right? So if you're not very clearly being chosen, then walk away. I've spoken about choosing a woman that chooses you, which is actually the title of a chapter in the book, The Way of the Superior Man, right? Choose a woman that chooses you. Which basically means if she shows genuine intent, genuine desire, and on the subject of desire, you got to remember, gents, that you cannot negotiate genuine burning desire. A woman either desires you or she doesn't. If you have to think, well, what can I do to make her desire me? Then she doesn't desire you. She doesn't. Okay? So choose a woman that chooses you. You notice the energy's off? Walk away, man. Just walk away. It's not worth it. It really isn't. Even when it comes to friendships, man, you're trying to organize some stuff. There's one friend that you used to be really close with. He's just not bothered to see you anymore. He doesn't reply to your calls, your messages, maybe replies a week or two late. You know what? You don't even have to send him a message saying, we're not going to be friends anymore. Just don't speak to him again. And if you want to remove him as a follower, remove him as a follower. If he replies back to you a few weeks later after he notices that you're no longer following, just be like, listen, man, I've been reaching out to you, trying to see you and stuff. I just don't feel like, you can be asked. And that's it. You don't have to explain yourself anymore. No, unless there's a genuine good reason. Sorry, man, went through some tragic stuff with the family, whatever. Okay. But if you're seeing someone post and do stuff and your message is undelivered, people have this device with them everywhere they go. So it's not an excuse anymore. Oh, sorry, man. If you really want to speak to someone, you will. You will. You notice your employer of 5 years is just not having any conversations about a pay rise. You're being given more work, but the pay is the same. You got to start looking elsewhere. Do not stay where you are not wanted or where you are not appreciated. Because people will take advantage of you if they see you as somebody who doesn't really stand up for himself and is just going to tolerate anything that's given to him. You don't want to be that guy. You got to have standards. When you truly love yourself, you don't settle for less. And this is where self-esteem comes in. If you have low self-esteem and you dislike yourself, you will accept any BS. When it comes to dating, any woman that gives you scraps, you're there like, yes, please. You're engaging with a woman that replies back to you 4 days late, breadcrumbs you. But when you have high self-esteem, you don't tolerate low effort. You don't tolerate disrespect from your employer because you know what you bring to the table. You know the value that you bring to the organization. And sometimes you've got to give people the gift of your absence. Be like, okay, if this is how it's going to be, see you later. I'm off. You're off. And a lot of people will then realize how important your presence was in their lives. Companies oftentimes, when they lose a really good employee, they realize, shit, we're now behind on the work that we need to get done. We're all over the place. Things are being forgotten in the organization. People aren't completing their tasks effectively. Things can go really downhill when companies lose a really good employee. Women, oftentimes, when they lose a guy that was really good to them, they will realize, damn, I didn't really see his value until he's no longer in my life anymore. Now I'm dealing with a bunch of beta male orbiters that just reply back to my stories with flame emojis. But this guy was genuinely a gentleman who wanted me in his life, and now I've lost him. That's it. Give people the gift of your absence. I'm easy to lose. As in, if I feel like the interaction isn't going anywhere, I'm out. I don't want to stay. I don't like low effort. Don't like low investment. Because I know how I treat every interaction that I want to take seriously. I treat it seriously. Right? If I feel like my employer is just disrespecting me, I'm out. I don't stay. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this topic, gentlemen, because, so many guys are stuck in interactions that aren't supporting the life that they want. Do you want to be with a woman who doesn't really like you like that? No. The answer is no, absolutely you don't. But because you're so scared of not finding another person for a while, you're clinging on to this low investment. It's not healthy. Don't be that guy, please. Thanks for watching, gents. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, comment, let me know what you think down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.